Hey everyone! This is the very first episode of Sparda's World where I reviews anime and manga. And yes, since this is the very first review episode, um I don't have much to say for now because I was on the long hiatus for these new upcoming mangas and anime, or even just like the older ones, like say like Tokyo Ghoul, which I'm actually catching up to the latest event and stuff like different series that I I heard about them, but I never really read or watch them. I was caught up in the moment with the entire college years, and they pretty are really take your time. And my life goes on through and through hardships, but I managed to pass. I managed to get my bachelor degree, and you know I have a lot of free time. I got my job. I'm happy with my job, and I do partake the discussions on anime and manga with like a lot of different people. Back in 2009, or I believe even 2008, I don't remember that much. I remember taking part on doing like reviews on the Naruto's chapters, even One Piece. Not the manga because I wasn't interested in the manga for One Piece. Maybe because it was too much, but I catch up from the beginning to the end. So, but that was back then. But at that time, I only did the anime reviews. And I was having fun doing the reviews. People were like my review styles. People were, give me a praise, and they was like telling me maybe you should join this blog site that's been asking for reviews, stuff like that. And I did get some requests last year, but I never really take any of them because like I was more focusing on doing my work on trying to get the job that's benefit for not just for myself but for my family as well, because I feel like I owe them a lot, and I truly care for my family. So I guess you could call me a family guy, not the show. So I went through a lot of stuff, and because of that, I only focus on Naruto and One Piece and Fairy Tail and Bleach. That was about it. Other than that, I let the all the other mangas and anime to pile up and more and more. But I have seen some interesting ones, and it was kind of my fault for not doing it. Not following along. But but again, I was heavily busy with this whole job and the whole college back then. So yeah, it's hard to say if it's a well, for me it's a good choice to focus on the bigger things because these anime and manga ain't going nowhere, and it's something that you can't really you can't really get a well, you could get a job maybe somewhere, but the point is, this is just a hobby of mine and not really something that I want to just do focusing on reviewing, like I don't know, like a critique, stuff like that. So why I'm doing this is well because I actually do enjoy them, and even though my study is actually on computer science materials, I actually still like in writing reviews or giving my thoughts and share with my thoughts with friends and other people from the internet. I know the internet is like the horrible choice for a lot of people because these internet guys can be pretty rowdy, and they can invade your materials, and they could be like, "Well, this is I disagree." I mean, I don't mind people disagreeing my opinion, but I think the problem is that they go too far to the point that they would just tell you I disagree because you lack of logic, you suck, stuff like that. They attack you, not attack your review. That's the problem. So, I can see why people are disgusted with fandom from any different type. Mainly Naruto, because Naruto does have a huge fan base, but it's pretty rowdy, and it's always been like that since I don't know, for quite a while. Probably even the beginning of the series. But then again, you can't really grow that much if you only have one material, which is a manga. The anime pretty much caused an uproar, and yeah, here we are. I mean, even if the manga ended, it's still going on with this whole berating other people opinions, even themselves. Like, like, say if I'm the fan of this character and I think my character didn't do well in the manga, and then they would critique me and they would bash me like I'm not a real fan. But then what's the definition of real fan then? you know. But that's how people are, and that's how the fandom are. Not everybody is like that. Not everybody is like that. Okay, I'm just saying you will encounter those kind of people, and it's a shame that I have been seeing them not for against me, but against my friends or even the people I don't even know, but I feel sympathy for them because sometimes they could be just an innocent person that just want to speak up their mind, and then all of a sudden they attack them. And it's their own fan base. It's like you're not a real fan base, and then they're gonna keep insulting that person rather than insulting the the thought of it. But that's how people works. I don't know. I just don't get it. But what can you do? So yeah, this is the very first episode. What my way of doing this would be that in every Saturday I'm gonna pile up all the mangas and anime and review them all in one go. Well, in one episode. I will give critiques to them each of them in my Tumblr page, which is Sparda 3G, and I won't say too much because if I say a lot, then what's the point of putting this video? Not really video. I want to make it audio, but right now I'm going to use a YouTube Advantage in order to use my voice and pretty much give out my thoughts. And I don't know how to do it so wave or make a podcast section and stuff like that. Basically, I'm just doing this way just to give you my thoughts. I know you don't see me visually, but I'm not that type of person that likes to show myself. I mean, it's not like I have a background with my anime and manga collections. To be honest, I really don't have that much. I watch them, I read them, I enjoy them, it is part of my hobby, but funny enough, I don't have those collections. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it. I mean, you could be a gamer, but you'll have no game collection. You'll probably be a game flying dumb, renting those games. But you're still playing, you're still having fun. I mean, you could buy a game or two. I'm not saying don't buy a game at all, or you must have all games, or else you're not a gamer. I'm just saying that's how people works. Not everybody is the same kind of people. So in my case, I don't really have a crazy background of having many manga and anime collections. I mean, to be honest, I wish I have a lot of them, but the thing is, around that time I was young and didn't really focus too much on working, matter focusing on for my college. And yeah, pretty much I owe a lot of debt from my family for putting me through this, and I feel gratitude for that, and I just want to repay them, and also keep helping them out as well as helping myself out, getting these sourceman stuff for me. So yeah, that's the story. Would I ever show my face? Who knows? Maybe time. Maybe, I don't know. But in this case, like I said, my main focus was just to have a audio podcast Isquid style, and that's how I really want to work. And it's funny because my influence from this came from not from an anime or manga review, but rather a wrestling podcast. Because because if you know wrestling, it's very enjoyable with these guys how they do it, and it's pretty. I've been following these guys for quite a while, like Solo Monster Sounds Off, who's happened to be recording at New York City, and I hear his thoughts and how he does his work and how he format his reviews and stuff like that. It inspired me to do it that way too, because it just seems like it fits me more. I mean, I don't mind doing like a reviews one by one, like one separate video for one review and then the others. I don't mind that, but I feel like just doing all in one go in one day seems like a nice flow. It's something maybe not many people has done. I mean, I have seen like reviewers that just does it by each episode, and it is easy for these guys like you, for the audience to, pick up a anime or manga to review it. And I understand they just want to be like, I want to just hear his thought on Parasite, a new episode. I don't care about Fairy Tale. I don't care about Tokyo Ghoul. I understand that. But I mean, I would try my best to try to give you to have like you take advantage of YouTube to have a different section breakdown. Like one would be about Fairy Tale, one would be about Bleach, one would be about One Piece, stuff like that. I'm new to this. You could call this episode a pilot episode because, well, every first episode is like a pilot. But in this case, you got I'm new to this. I'm trying to work things out. To be honest, I was not planning to try to record it today. I was planning to record it when I'm finally ready. But I feel like I should introduce myself here. So that's what I'm doing right now. And, what made me go back to doing reviews is the people from Tumblrs, the website, the forums, even Naruto forums. Like, I remember how much people were trying to tell me, you should try to get like your own website. And then, they was giving me the whole procedure, how to do it. Even though I know how to do it, but you could tell that one, like, couple of people really want me to go for it. But I was like, I'm not that big. And around that time, I was wanted to do college. And I was more focused on college. And I don't want to, kill myself over. So in this case, I finally find the right way to do it. And I finally have the free time to do it, no less. Not only that, but, I have a lot of space in my life. Even if I'm working, even I'm hanging around with my friends and, my special one, it's just that the time, yeah, I get, it's funny because usually when you grow up and then when you work, especially on your own studies and stuff like that, you usually be very busy. But, for me, it's kind of the opposite. I find myself having a huge gap of my life. I find a time for anything else. And I thought, anime and manga has been quiet on my life. Why not go back to it? And I have a good friend of mine that always recommend me a lot of mangas and anime. And I took his advice, and I do have a lot of thoughts in mind, like what to go first, what to read and watch first. In this case, my first one was Tokyo Ghoul, because I guess I had to blame one of my friends in the forum with a signature that really has a great art design. And I was like, what is that from? Is that what I think it is? And then he's like, or I think it was she. Sorry. He was like, this is Tokyo Ghoul. It's like, but that looks so cool. How could I miss this out? And then, it was during the time with the whole event of Naruto's ending. Truth be told, I don't like the ending. And, a lot of people didn't like the ending. I'm not saying everybody in the world, but there are people that didn't like the ending. And it's just not for the sake of pairing, so don't go there. But, the point is, I remember trying to think, should I go back? Because I haven't done that in a while. Last year, I was only focusing on Naruto because, again, I was focusing on a lot of work, and a lot of, a lot of things to get back on my feet. And, after that, there's no other series to really follow along that closely. I mean, I follow Fairy Tail and One Piece, but Naruto was like my main thing to discuss with the people in the Tumblrs and whatnot. So now I decided, like, I like to get involved with other things, and especially like other series that's really actually look interesting. And it's been such a long time that I remember killing a day or two of mangas and anime. I'm like, hey, I finished catching up, or like, hey, I finished this series. It's great and stuff like that. I think the last one I ever cared that much was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and to me, it's still one of the best, if not the best, shonen manga out there. And it's just, I feel like nothing can come close to that kind of ending anymore. At least the series and the series itself, because a lot of series either, get a lot of series start good and then it just go down, and then it gives you the impression you should have ended where you think is where it starts to wear on. For Naruto, me, I was hoping it would still keep going well, kind of like how One Piece is, even though it's a little bit troublesome in One Piece right now. Mostly due to the pacing. I mean, it's not too bad, but you got a lot of focus on the different characters. It's just like, so where's the main focus? The real Straw Hat crew, stuff like that. But anyway, you know, with with wow, I forgot. But yeah, it's just that with Naruto, I was just focusing on that so many time, discussing plots and everything. Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. So with Naruto, I was hoping it would keep along with the pace and the story. Then a lot of things starts to get screwy around the Kage Summit arc. And it's not just the Team 7 drama. It's just the story itself. It's just getting convoluted for no reason. And it's just funny how they managed to change that stone tablet into a history tablet. Like, it's supposed to be the Curse of Uchiha, which is the Sharingan, and the idea of the whole internal Mangekyo Sharingan. But now, suddenly, if you achieve those, you could read a history of the ancient time. And it's funny because it's like these Uchihas feels like they worship the idea of how Madara bring out the control of Kyuubi, especially when you see the shrine where Itachi was at. So it's kind of funny just to see like, oh, well, okay, so there's a Jubi. I thought Kyuubi would be the best. Never mind. I mean, I give it a chance that time, but then it gets weirder and weirder with the ideas like, that Gindu Manzo could transform, and it could transform again, and it could transform into a tree, which happens to be her mom, the mom of Hagoromo. It's like, what's going on? So, but, long story short, I was hoping it was not going to get that crazy. It really got crazy, and it kept going and going. I mean, at least it stopped before it got more crazier. But I guess you could say too little too late in this case. So, but that's just me. Back here, yeah, so this is my intro audio, and pretty much what I'm gonna do is this. Anime wise, I haven't catch up anything, or I haven't started up anything like new, and it's too bad because Parasite is about to end. I believe it's ending at 24, episode 24, and it's already at 21 or 22 even. So I wish I could have reviewed that. And can I catch up? Maybe, yeah, but maybe I'm not sure. But I'm more focusing on catching up for the manga side. I'm planning to review Tokyo Ghoul, Fairy Tail, One Piece, Bleach, Seven Deadly Sins, which I haven't read yet. I'm hearing good things about that series, so I'm gonna read up to that soon. And for anime wise, I haven't decided yet, but I will let you know in the next video or so. Well, you know what I mean. So I haven't thought about the anime wise yet. Manga wise, those that are listed is gonna be there. Oh, also I believe it's called My Hero Academy. I'm thinking to read that because a lot of friends of mine are recommending me to read it because it has that shonen formula, which of course we all seen how it works, but it also like it kind of, I wouldn't say perfected, but it utilizes it really well and makes it like a fun, enjoyable series. And you rarely it gets good. It rarely it hits a home run that strong early on. And so My Hero Academy sounds like it actually did its justice. Not only that, but it's funny that it came out right after. I believe I heard it came out right after Naruto ended. I'm not sure that's really true, but if it is, man, talk about timing. Because I remember 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year. Yeah, I believe it was last year. You got they brought up like 3 to 4 new series, and I believe all of them are canceled. Like one is supposed to be like influenced by Attack on Titan to with the dark theme, something they want to bring back, the whole dark theme I forgot what's the name. I don't even know what's the English name. I just know the Japanese name. It's a lot of it's a lot of words. I forgot. It was a dark Shonen Jump series. That got canceled. It started off promise, but then it just goes down, down, down. I guess the person doesn't know how to utilize the the concept that he had, or Hungry Joker. Not sure what happened to that, but it didn't do that well. It only lasted 3 volumes, I believe. And now he's coming back with, I forgot what the series name. I haven't read it, but I keep hearing it's a Naruto ripoff, but in the wizardry style, which I don't know if that's gonna go out well. But maybe, but it's only one chapter from what I heard. I'm not sure, they even greenlighted. But point is, I believe this should not be the exact same before everybody would just go, I already been there, but done that. The whole concept of, you got this kid who's an orphan, he's a loser, he wants to be the number one of this, and he has a demon inside, and he has to control her and stuff like that. So, I don't. It's too cliche. Even for shonen, and I guess that's why My Hero Academy, I wanted to check it out because it seems at first I thought it was like a replacement for Hitman Reborn style, the whole loser guy, he's all afraid, he's too like, I don't want to do this, no, leave me alone, stuff like that. Not to say it's a bad shonen. It wasn't that bad. It was not bad. It was decent. But anyway, to My Hero Academy, it doesn't look like it has that. I mean, I only skimmed the first chapter. It kind of reminded me of that, but a lot of people have said that over time you actually see him grow, you actually see him do more stuff, and you actually see how he's the protagonist of the series, and the formula of the shonen is a little bit different, not too different, but it's more like at least this is something that's actually very enjoyable. It could be a fun shonen series, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Okay, so yeah, that's my manga review list for now. Oh, of course, Attack on Titan whenever whenever it shows up, but there will be more series to come, of course, and anime. I'm still working on that, so bear with me. I'm probably gonna I'm not sure when Tokyo Ghoul Route A, whatever how you call it, it's gonna end. I'm not sure when it ends. If it ends before I even get there, then that sucks. But I'm a little disappointed that I won't be able to reach for the Parasite climax ending, whatever. So, but I am catching up. I just started doing the idea around Wednesday. I mean, I was thinking about it for a while. Like, should I start going back and review things? And should I do these kind of method that I'm doing right now with the whole one go review episode and stuff like that? It took me a while. I decided, yeah, why not? I mean, if you don't like the way I'm gonna do it, then I'm sorry. But like I said, I'm gonna try to break it down. I'm gonna have like use the YouTube functionality with the whole breakdown, which review you want to go, like at 4 minutes is the review of Tokyo Ghoul, at 10 minutes it's review of I don't know, My Hero Academy and stuff like that. I would try to do that my best. I would do my best to do that. For the meantime, this is new. It's still work in progress, as you could say. And yeah, this is how it's gonna be from now on. I can always change format. I can always change how things go around. And I'm thinking to give you the anime manga news from in the beginning, and then get to the review. And then at the end, I guess it'll be the end. But I was thinking like maybe like an open inbox thing. Like if you have questions for me, I'll go answer them to you. Or you have any suggestion, and I'll say yes, I'll go for that. Or maybe another time, or maybe not me. Who knows? There's a lot of series I missed out back then, and it's funny because I kind of quit on anime around 2009 or 10. I don't remember. Whenever when Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood ended. Oh, that was the only thing I focused. That and actually Bakuman series, I stopped watching and reading And well, reading wise, I only read the one that I already follow. But watching wise, I gave up because I believe it was around that time where there's a lot of moed, how you say it, Moe, and not ichi. There are ichi, but you know, I'm not going that far. But lollies, like young girls, and the weird thing is they take advantage of the lollies and moe stuff and make it into a, I don't know, like a innuendo pornography. It's disturbing. That's I'm serious. It's disturbing. So I mean, I don't. If you like it, be my guest. But that's it's kind of hard. Just imagine if you try to watch in your lunch break and then you just hear like those overtone yell, quote unquote, from a little girl, and they're enjoying it. I don't know. It's just like I said. It was like that. You got like a lot of series that does that. And then I'd be hearing like the series like for the older adults or any all around kind people. Those animes get canceled or they just don't get ratings and they just be like, oh no, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna cancel that one and produce more of the other style. Little girls. I don't have problem with those. It's just there was a lot. It was the Call of Duty style. When Call of Duty was so popular, people gotta make a game that's similar to Call of Duty, the exact same, or even just anything similarity like perks, kill streaks, stuff like that. The aiming, the downside aiming method, and all that other tools. So I guess it had that period, and then it brought me back with Attack on Titan. I thank my best friend for that because it was hell of a show. And yes, I know it's overrated. I get it. I get it. But I thought anime was gonna focus on the same materials. Heck, even Gundam series. I haven't seen a normal Gundam series in a while. I mean, there's Gundam Unicorn, which I'm gonna see, and I'm definitely going to check it out. But again, I had to go through Gundam Age, Gundam Fighters or something. I'm not sure what's that about. I know there was like cameos of a different series. It's mainly G Gundam cameo. But point is, where's the Gundam of like, whoa, people are dying. This is war. I'm not saying like the other materials, like kind of like the other kind of Gundam are not bad, but because I haven't seen them, but Gundam was always about war, was always about, this chaotic battle of Gundams. Lately, Gundam has been coming like, when you get a new mobile suit, it'll be the most overpowered one. I don't have a problem with that. You get that in Gundam Seed. I think mainly Gundam Seed you get that. I mean, you actually, to be honest, you actually got that from Wing, Turn somewhat, and Double O. But I do miss the days of the first century, the universal century, I think they would call it, and I miss those kind of era. And I miss those like there's no really I am godly, I am Super Saiyan. I don't have a problem with that, but Gundam doesn't need that, not that often. But my point is, with these Gundam Age, I remember seeing a Gundam Age thing, like I wasn't watching. I just kept on seeing some spoilers, and it was funny because I'm like looking at the ending because for some reason Sunrise has a tendency to show off the pairing before the series begin. I mean, look at Gundam C. It's like why keep following this pairing? The one they show you in the opening is the one they're going for. So I don't know what you're looking at, but this is who you have to focus on. Don't think anything else is going to happen. Unless they're brothers and sisters. And I can't say cousins because, this one accepts incest. So, but point is, I remember Gundam Age showing off the development between two characters, which is funny because, like, they weren't, like, demonstrated well enough in the opening and the ending. The ending had this boy and this girl, I think their best friend, and I heard the developments is slacking, and then all of a sudden, they I think they kill one girl off, and then the first part of the anime ended, and then all of a sudden he went off with that best friend of his. So what? And the art style wasn't my thing. I was biased. Maybe the series good. I don't know. I will watch it, but it just feels like it was trying to cater to all around, which I don't mind too much of that. But Gundam was, I guess you could say, the older teenager level. Well, it was supposed to be like that because you got the whole war theme, the whole kills, bloods. I can't say gore, but you could see them at times. It was. I wouldn't say the most hardcore thing because that would be like, I don't know, Evangelion or Edeon level, but it was still like high up there. So basically what I'm saying is a lot of series are like, I want to say sellouts, but a lot of series are like trying to focus too many different things that doesn't really work to their style. And I'm not sure if this Gundam that's going on right now or even ended. I'm not even sure that fighter thing. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'll watch it, but I really miss the days where the Gundam are like, what I just said. And basically the only way I could get it is Unicorn or that movies that coming out, the Gundam Origins. I think it's a movie, and I heard it's doing good. So I'm happy for Gundam to do so well, But basically, I take a hiatus on the anime, definitely on anime, even for Naruto when I'm still like, a fan for it, and I just didn't care for that much. And then Attack on Titan happened. Again, I know, overrated, but it was damn good. It was, the presentation was phenomenal, especially the soundtrack. The soundtrack is, I don't even know. It's like his own caliber in terms of like comparing the other animes and no, I can't. Well, yeah, just anime. I was gonna say manga, but where's the music? But the point is, it was just it woke me up. It made me realize, not every anime are like this, and maybe they are, and maybe if they we're coming back to the old style. We're coming back to like, there's a hardcore thing. There's no, like a lot of, I don't know, what I just mentioned. Nothing like that. I don't have a problem with that. It's just overbearing. That's the thing. So, I was happy to see Attack on Titan, and according to my friend, a lot of people go back not watching anime again after Attack on Titan ended. So, I guess that's kind of funny. But I mean, did I do that? I kind of did actually. I haven't seen another anime after that, but I know there's other animes, and I know there are good ones. I just had to see it thoroughly, So. Yeah, that's the case. I'm gonna go back to anime. I'm gonna get back onto that, and yeah, this is how it's gonna be. So let's start off. In the anime news world, well, I just found out that One Punch Man is gonna get an anime adaptation. Well, I haven't read the manga, but I have heard it's a pretty good series actually. Really, really good. Mainly I hear praises a lot from, I believe, from Naruto forums before I got off Naruto, and I remember thinking like, what is this? It's weird because on one hand you see the volume cover. It looks so cool. It looks really good, and there's this other poster, like you just see that same character looking all wimpy and like out of out of place, literally, because the animation, the art style is so different from the other characters that surrounds him, which is weird, but that intrigues me. That's the funny thing, because I want to know what is it about. And from what I heard, it's about a superhero that trained pretty much all his life even explained that his hair was falling out because of the training, which I don't get it, but but yeah, and supposedly he's bored because he's too strong and he keep winning all the time, and he got that one punch attack that literally ended the opponent in one punch. So it sounds interesting, to be honest with you. Sounds pretty interesting. you know, I'll probably read a manga soon. Maybe not right now, but pretty soon because it does look interesting, and it does seems like a pretty cool concept. Which is because it sounds like well, how does that one guy is gonna lose or even like keep going on the battle. So it could be interesting how it works. Uh, Kill la Kill. I'm not sure why I could have a trouble saying that. Kill la Kill is airing on Toonami, I believe today, Saturday. Tonight, I mean. I think it starts tonight. I believe it starts at 12:30 a.m. And unless it already started, then oops. Well, like I said, I'm catching up, so bear with me. And I believe the one that sang the opening theme, I can't pronounce the name. Oi, I think that's how you say it. She made a video, and she pretty much says, like she's so happy that Toonami is airing the series, and please don't miss it. So, that's pretty nice, and I do want to check. I do want to check out that anime too. It's supposed to be like a Gurren Lagann, but with this girl from high school. I'm not sure which grade. Again, not knowing everything because I'm catching up. So it seems interesting, and I'm gonna definitely watch that too. Is it like, is it is it good as Gurren Lagann? Is it better than Gurren Lagann? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But that's the comparison should not be taking place like this. But anyway, then we got Ghosts in the Shell, AAA anime, and they're coming out on April 5th. It's been a while to see a Ghost in the Shell. I do like the movies a lot. As for this new anime, well, why not? I should check it out. Should be interesting. There's a preview. I haven't seen it, to be honest. It could be good. It could be disappointing. Who knows? But then again, yeah. So that's all the news for now. Technically, there's more news, but I had to do a lot of backtracking and I had to focus. Like again, this is my opening. It won't be this long. It could only last up to an hour at best, at most. I mean, and maybe I go a little bit over, but for this episode's sake, this is my introduction, and I just had to explain why this is happening, how this format works, and stuff like that. So, I'm just trying to catch up with a lot of things, and let's get to the review. But, well, again, I'm not up to date for Tokyo Ghoul. So, let's talk about Tokyo Ghoul for a second. Here's the thing. Like I said, I haven't catch up. I stopped at chapter 79, and I'm going to plan to read them all right before the next episode of this podcast, and I gotta say, I really like this series a lot, and I really, really wish I didn't miss out the fun. It sucks that I missed out the fun because I can imagine like the people discussion going on with the whole scene. It's a send-in, and people people are already used to the whole gore thing. If you're one of those kind of people that just came from shonen and then it just goes to seinen and then you just see this crazy gore, very dark storyline, well, welcome. So, but I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't know these stuff. I do know these stuff. In fact, my first one was actually from Berserk, which, at the first time, it shocked me to see the amount of gore and the violence and stuff like that. It's not to say it's not to say they are sending just to have the gore and everything like that, to make it look like rated AO, adults only, stuff like that, those age 18 plus. But sometimes a lot of series do need to be do it needs to be sent in to, demonstrate the darkness and demonstrate the cold, the demonstration. It is needed. Tokyo Ghoul is one of them, and they executed well enough to show you the dark nature of the series. So, you know, I really like this series, and to be honest, I could discuss this for a long time, and I'm only up to chapter 79. But this series is such a good one. Is I, again, maybe the ending could mess me up. Maybe the ending will make me say boo. But then again, the sequel is on, right? So it's not over yet. But I have heard the ending. If that was the ending, and there was no sequel, I have heard it could be a pretty much a big fu from the author. So who knows? But right now I'm really enjoying this series. So the series is about Kaneki Ken. He's just a normal college boy, freshman I believe, and he's just doing his normal routine with his best friend Hide or Hyde. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. I haven't seen the anime. I'm pretty sure it's Hide, maybe. It could be Hyde, but yeah. So then Riza shows up and he has a crush on her, and then he asks her on a date, and they went on a date, and this is the world that has ghoul that eats people for their survival. And Kaneki doesn't know there's anybody that does that around his area. He knows, but he kind of doubt that he will get attacked by one. So he's just like don't mind that much until that day he actually was hanging out with a ghoul, which ends up being the one he has a crush on, and then he was supposed to die, and luckily for him, I think he would survive because doctors saved him, and they transplanted the organs from a ghoul, which that ghoul died. Riza, she died by unexpected event, and the story goes from there. It's funny because the chapter 1, it didn't feel like it was trying to tell you the awesomeness of the series. Kind of like how you got from a lot of shonen jumps. Like for example, with Naruto, you got this loser kid, and then he fights back because this is the intro. You got to have the main hero fight back, and you got that whole Shadow Clone Jesu happen, and then you get the idea of the premise of this nature. And then you got Bleach. Oh, it's just a normal guy who could see ghosts. And then Rukia shows up and she's in trouble. So what Ichigo do? Become a Shinigami and look how cool it is. Stuff like that. Or even One Piece. Oh, what is that boy doing in that barrel? Oh, look, he come out of the barrel and he could stretch? That's strange. What is this world? Stuff like that. Protagonists always do the cool moments, stuff like that. In this case, it doesn't seem like it's trying to tell you what's cool. For some reason, in a weird, funny way, I was actually expecting Kaneki to fight back that ghoul when she attacked him, and then do something like, what the hell? Oh, he's a ghoul. Cool, I guess. Stuff like that. But instead, you just got a very tragic ending, a very tragic first chapter you probably ever see, and you just see him like all in the deathbed, and he officially became a ghoul. So, yay! What a first chapter! I'm so excited. So it was crazy to see that. But I think what makes it interesting because the first chapter wasn't really like a introduction chapter. I mean, it's introduction, but it's also introduction to its main story, which I find that to be interesting because, like I said, in the Shonen Jump, or maybe even Shonen, they usually start off like, "Hey, look into my world, and look what this protagonist can do," and then the main story starts maybe 2 chapters later. Like again with Ichigo, he just fought a regular Hollow. He didn't fight he didn't fight another Shinigami. He didn't fight a those Arakar. I can't pronounce it right. Those guys. You don't see those because they're not because there's a later focus on the story. Right now, we just want to introduce you what is this world going to be about? What is the concept? What is the main character? That's how they do it. For Tokyo Ghouls, you got the intro about Ghoul, and then you just got the intro to this main story, which happens to be about the case of why Kaneki was searching to be a ghoul, and why Riza had to die, and who's the one that killed her. Which to me, it would have been foolish enough to say, random steals just fall on her, and I guess you could consider Kaneki lucky. That just doesn't click with me. So I had a feeling it's gonna be some like plot, like it gotta be somebody, and luckily it is somebody, and it became the main core of the story, which is great because I'm really interested because the way how they're building this up, it makes me very interested in his universe. So I really like this whole thing. Now I would say this: the series, the pacing in the beginning is a bit slow because they introducing a lot of different elements. They showcasing the different emotions. In my opinion, I don't have a problem with it because they show off Kaneki real emotions when something tragic, and that tragic will follow you to the very end. And mainly the chapter where Kaneki trying his best to stay in the real world and not feel like he has to live in a new style of world, as in being a ghoul. And like chapter 2, that's where you get the idea, like they don't eat human foods, they eat human, period. So stuff like that, that's it's interesting in that case. But chapter 3 is where I like the demonstration of one human emotion of Kaneki, like especially where he went to the college and he's trying his best to live in a normal life. He believed that everything just ended, and then all of a sudden it just keep coming back to him. The idea of like he can't eat human food, he wants to eat human. And you see him going to the bathroom, and you see his expression of, "Come on, don't do this to me." It's kind of like, it's kind of like if you have this device that costs you like I don't know $5,000, and it breaks, or you believe it breaks because you did one tiny accident, and you wouldn't be like, okay, it just needs to recharge. If it recharge, it will be better. And then the next day, it doesn't recharge, it doesn't work, it's broken, you mess it up. And then you're just saying, come on, fix it. You have that sad, kind of, you're not too sad, but you feel like you're being betrayed by life or something like that. And that's what Kaneki showed. And I really like the art. And it's funny because, these arts, kind of, I wouldn't say they're not hard to read. They're easy to read. Maybe some parts is a little bit hard, but the expressions are really well done. In my opinion, is probably the art style I would go for if I were to draw ever. But I really like it, the art style. And then you have the demonstration of him trying to find so many ways to not be in a ghoul life, and then to the point that he hates being a ghoul. He hates ghouls. And you have Toka, which one of my favorite characters. You have Toka, shows up, rip the guy's arm, and pretty much tell the kid, "Hey, you want to eat this?" Like normal casualty. And yeah, like she, it's funny because I thought she would be like a complete, well, not complete airhead, but she is hard to work with. Make no mistake. But the point is like, I thought she would be like a type of person that would say like, I hate humans, blah, 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 stuff like that. But later on, you get the understanding that she's not that stupid. She's not stupid. Maybe she's not good at college, or at least that subject that she failed in. But, they do have a logical explanation on why she's not that bright in terms of studying, which makes sense to me again. And, like I said, these characters aren't like that typical, aren't so been there, done that. I mean, some are, but they have a good twist to it, and I like it. And it feels like it feels a little bit natural. And also, with the like I said, the beginning is a bit slow because it explains a lot. It goes thoroughly. It explains the ghoul, the nature of ghoul, how they got to live, who they have to defend from, all that kind of stuff. It's like if you want a fast pace, you're it's like playing Mass Effect. You want to have a fast pace, you want to understand the story, then skip the dialogues of your crew. You could do that, but if you do that, maybe you miss out the full main course of the whole entire series. In Mass Effect, you could take a long time. I mean, the game is not that long. The game is actually short if you just rush only for the story's sake, and even for the side mission's sake. But if you take your time with talking to your friends and even doing them favors in the Mass Effect series, you actually get to understand more of the universe, get to understand the characters, and you see the development, and it's really well done. So in Tokyo Ghoul case, Ghoul case, you take your time to understand the characters, understand the concept of the ghoul universe, as well as the human too, because you got the investigator, the CCG, which I actually thought was a collectible card game at first. But point is, the mangaka, I believe his name is Ishida Sui. He's showing you from the beginning, and he's going thoroughly on the explaining how ghoul works and how like this universe is gonna be from this point forward. And it also explains the power of a ghoul and the power of the investigators, where they get it from and how it works. Like this one chapter, they give you a good half a chapter, if not an entire chapter, of explaining how the Kaguhan, I'm not sure. There's a lot of different translation. I hope I get the right one. But basically, the power of a ghoul, how it works. It's like a tree system. It's very interesting. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of dialogues to read through, and I understand most of it. I do go back to understand it again, so I get the gist of it. I just hope they don't break that kind of concept in the long term. Like say like, I break all of them because I am retconning or stuff like that. Maybe I expect that. Maybe, who knows? But so far, a lot of things feels natural. So a lot of things it feels planned, which I like. And it feels like everything is. I mean, I don't have a problem with doing it on the fly, but when you have something in plan and if you execute it well, you're gonna have a great series. You're gonna have a great work. So, in this case, so far, it's doing great. And again, I'll stop at chapter 79, which, by the way, the last arc of that was phenomenal. It was great. It has intensity. It has character developments. It has Kaneki being the coolest guy you probably see for whatever that timeline came out that chapter. He was so cool. He was badass, as the Sue guy says. Like, he's so badass mode and stuff like that. But it has a lot of things. Great actions, great intensities, art, everything. It's probably like one of the best arcs in of all time in my list of, I don't know, best arcs, probably in the top 10. I'm not sure. It is so good. It's so good, and it feels like it pays off with all the pacing, with all the storytelling, and all the developments that goes through. I mean, especially if you done this arc, maybe like the second one. If you do it in the first one, you probably would be like, okay, that's it. I mean, it would be good action. It probably get into the series, but you got to build it up, because if you build it up and then if it tests your patience, and if your patience goes well with you, then you're going to receive a great gift. And that was this arc. This arc was great. And I cannot say any more than that, because, I mean, I'm behind. And it's a little bit upsetting that I wish I knew this series. Actually, I knew this series from the anime, but I wish I knew it much earlier. I wish I was reading this, because everything about it. look, I'm trying not to. I understand this is it's getting popular. It's not big. It's not Naruto big. It's not One Piece big, but it's getting there. And I'm trying not to like, overrate this thing. It's probably overrated. Who knows? But it's well deserved to be praised by people that have read this series. It's really good. At first I thought Kaneki could get a little bit old, but he does develop well. And then by the time with this arc, it's intense. The way how they build it up, the way how they create the atmosphere, especially with that art design he has, is really well done and is on point. And I can't wait to read more. I've been warned that the next arc is going to be a lot of different directions, not in a bad way, but more like, well, you just came back from an awesomeness. Now you're gonna go back to a little bit more talking or stuff like that. Nothing wrong with those, but I'm just saying. And there's a lot of great characters. And I have a pick of what's my favorite one, but I do like this whole concept, and I do like the whole investigators being like more diverse, especially I for some reason I thought the first two that we saw from the beginning of the series are gonna be the only one that's like unique, quote unquote, but you end up getting like more different characters, especially Suzuya. I think that's how you say his name. He's one crazy guy, and I don't understand how he works, but he is. But he was so awesome in that one chapter where he decided to borrow a bike, well, motorcycle, and he went up there and he's like, "Good morning" or "evening," I think, or something like that, and he starts using the Uzi and just shot every single ghoul. And I was like, "Holy, So yeah, it's really good, and I'm gonna try to reach to the sequel by the next episode, so that at least I can start off my chapter reviews. And because if I once I start chapter review, it's gonna be like that for the time being. Now, even at this point, I definitely recommend reading it. If you haven't read it, then give it a try. Be warned, there is pretty gory, especially like the arc I was in. Before, around chapter 29 and under, it wasn't that much gory. I mean, it's gore, but it wasn't like, like, hey, you could bear with this. Now you could bear with it if you're not a fan of gore. You may have to not read it then, but I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just letting you know there's a good amount of gore. It's not too over the top, but there is a good amount of them. So, like I said, definitely recommend to go for it. And as for the anime wise, I haven't watched them, but I have been told that it's disappointing. It's disappointing because there's only 12 episodes, and I'm not counting Rude. There's only 12 episodes, and the fact that there's only 12 episodes, and they cover, I believe, 65 chapters, is, I don't know why. That's insane. Why? It needs more time. Like I said, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of explanations. There's a lot of character interaction. So how you do 12 episodes with 65 chapters? Are you just gonna focus on the fights? Are we do DBZ Kai on this thing? What's going on? So I mean, I'm gonna watch them, but I can't say I am hype about it. Especially if it's by Studio Period, which it has been told the animation isn't all that good, which is disappointing again. You would assume Madhouse would have taken that role because it has blood, it has gore, it has a dark nature, and stuff like that. The requirements of Madhouse, even though you got Hajime no Ippo or Hunter x Hunter is pretty good in terms of the dark nature and stuff like that. But the series itself is great too, by the way. Just wonder when that series ever gonna come back again. But anyway, yeah. So I'm looking forward to more of Tokyo Ghoul. Now we get to One Piece. One Piece. This chapter was pretty good. I gotta say, I before I came back and decided to do the review, I was, let's see, I believe I was 9 chapter behind, and reading through it, while I enjoyed them, I wasn't too fascinated by them. I wasn't that hype about it. I wasn't that, maybe because it's just a lot of focusing keep going on, and maybe because it's that you always get like you always get like other characters. Like this one chapter, you only got like non Straw Hat crew, and you got this guy who's like wanted to protect this girl. Because apparently that girl fall in love with that guy out of random spite. I have no idea. So a lot of things just go on and on. Yeah, I believe that chapter didn't have any Straw Hat crew. I'm not saying you need to have Straw Hat crew to make it good, but it just seems like, there's a lot of focusing, and you teased us with the whole Dumb Flamingo and Luffy, but then you got Bellamy part, which I don't mind that, but it's so many, it's like you just show us the good part, and then you're just gonna stall time by showing us the what could be good, but I don't think a lot of people will care that much. I mean, like I said, I don't mind too much, but I wasn't like, I can't wait for the next chapter. I can't wait for the next chapter. I wasn't in that mood. They're not bad chapters. They're not, but it doesn't give you that vibe of waiting for the next chapter, which, luckily is happening now, this whole situation of the main event. It's not like with Naruto with the war arc you have from the beginning. It start off promising, because it did, but it didn't capitalize it well enough. And then we got to day 2. We have Naruto becoming like, I guess you could say, Jesus, and he pretty much do all the handiwork, which should have been the opposite. Should have the friends doing the handiwork, but who knows? Point is, it's happening now. It's happening at the main event course, so it's not like we're seeing the beginning of this arc, and they're gonna drag on and on and on and on to the main part, which is Don Flamingo versus Luffy, or maybe it could be Don Flamingo versus someone else too. Well, not someone else, but with Luffy and accompanied by somebody. You never know. But from the judging by these chapters, it seems like a lot of Straw Hat crew are getting weak or getting tired. Like Frankie passed out. Nico Robin is hurt. I don't know. Zoro just came back. Like I said, everybody's regrouping now in this latest chapter. The whole factory is getting destroyed. Everything seems to progress. Everything seems like now everything is almost done. We just left off with Don Flamingo. Bellamy just got beat down in the same fashion from the first time, which, I thought that was kind of cool, to be honest with you. And like seeing what goes around comes around, the exact same style. Well, or deja vu in this case, actually. So I thought it was pretty neat to do that style, and like the whole him against Luffy. How is different this time around? Like one time, back then, Bellamy hates his guts. Luffy hates his guts after attacking the crew back then. And then now in this case, it's like, it feels like the same in the surface, but in their thoughts, they're different, which is, I thought that was pretty neat. And because of him being defeated, you only have 2 other members left, which is Don Flamingo, and I forgot the other guy's name. I'll catch up with the names, because trust me, there's a lot of names in this series that I don't think a lot of people has the time to remember every single one of them. I mean, if you do remember everybody, then that's good. But for me, I had to do a lot of catch up, so that's just so many characters. It's like this thing has its own series itself. It's not an arc of itself. It's a series itself. It just has a lot of characters. You got the little guys. You got the people that went to the tournament. You got the Marines. You got Straw Hat crews. You got the Flamingo family. It's crazy. It's just a lot of characters. A lot of characters. So, a lot of people are regrouping. The little guys are seeing are regrouping back with the king. Well, yeah, with the commander. I mean, well, because he used to be a toy, but now they see him as the king. Ooh, and everybody's regrouping. They're pretty much just saying like everything is gonna be over, and we're taking out the most of the crew. But even so, the Flamingo is the main problem, and he's still a big problem. Probably like a one man army problem, as in like he could still take everybody out. So if you're not taking him out, then we still have a problem. If we take him out and if we add a crew of his, we could actually do it. So pretty much pretty much is saying like we got to take him out bad. Oh, before going further, I do like that one chapter with shoot, I don't remember his name. All I remember it was about this guy who was a pirate, and he lied, being a banker, and because of that lie that lasted so long, that woman, the love of his, she found out later on after they getting the baby. And after the kid died, Gimlet, I think that's how you say his name, Gimlet. I'm not sure. After the baby died, after the baby died, she snapped out because she found out that he's not a banker. He'd been lying all this time, and pretty much, what they say when it comes to marriage, it's all about trust. So that trust was pretty much destroyed because the truth is out, and long story short, they break off. The guy didn't want to tell her because he loved her. He really loved her, and unfortunately, she became a vegetable after the tragic accident of hers, and they actually explain why he has that baby design, that baby bonnet, and it's really sad. I was actually, I feel sorry. I feel bad, and I kind of wish there was I wish they give him more time. I mean, they give him a good amount of time, but maybe a little bit more for the sake of this kind of story. It's pretty messed up. It's pretty sad. It could have. I'm surprised that Oda actually went his way to actually explain that kind of story. And it's just one henchman, So, kudos. Good kudos. That one chapter I actually had to talk about because I really enjoyed that one. So, going back to the latest chapter, like I said, everybody's regrouping now. You have Sambo, I believe, he's on his way to the destination point. And, basically this chapter is a build-up chapter because the next chapter is going to be a really, really interesting one because now we're focusing back to Luffy and Don Flamingo, which he hinted that he killed Law. I strongly doubt that, of course, but it should be interesting how the reaction is going to be from Luffy because Luffy's already pissed off. So seeing more damage to his friends, it's going to make him so much anger. And the battle could be intense so long as it live up to the hype. It could live up because this arc is beginning to feel like the old days of One Piece. Because when you go back to the old days, that's always a big struggle battle. It's always like a almost equal battle. It's mainly like the whole Luffy versus Lucy one. That one was still one of the best fights, and it was intense, especially if you see the anime, which they actually do good for that for once. Well, not for once, they do good stuff, but they did good. They did justice in that finale of that battle. So for me to see Don Flamingo versus Luffy could be a really, really good one. I just hope it doesn't feel one-sided, which I don't think it will be one-sided because it feels like it really has some promising to not to be that one-sided. So Don Flamingo versus Luffy. Maybe more will join in. Who knows? But right now, I can't wait for it. I can finally say I can't wait for the next chapter. So that's that to it. Now we have Fairy Tail. This chapter was more of a uh, show me what you got chapter. I can't find a better way to say it, but what I mean is it's because this is a 1 year later time, and this chapter pretty much demonstrate the power of the fairy tale members and how much they grow up. Like well, you don't see much from Wendy, but because she's still doing the way she's doing, but you because of the the numbers of men, I guess you could say that's how much she could be that lethal now. Like she could take out an army herself, which is impressive. And yeah, she is teaming up with the what's her name? So yeah, Chelia. I'm sorry, I'm not that good with names, but I know them, but I can't pronounce them right. So, but I'm gonna get hang of this. Anyway, so yeah, even if they team up, it's still impressive that the amount of damage they could do. And even Charlotte, um, Charlie, see, she's now a fighter, so she could fight now. So not only she's very smart and predict future at times, she can fight, and it makes Happy so singled out with like can't do anything. Apparently, he could do something about fish. I don't know. Looked like he was trying to revive a fish. Who knows? So pretty much the chapter was just them fighting, showcasing how strong they got. It's not a bad chapter though. It's not a bad chapter. There's some one or two funny parts. Again, it's all demonstration the power of them. You always get those kind of stuff from a lot of shonen series, or maybe series in general. So not much to say here, though. I do like Lucy progress, like especially the fact that she could use the not only the gate, but she could actually change form, the star dress thing. So it wasn't a one time thing from the last one, which is great because she could do well getting more power. But that being said, the first showcase wasn't the best because it was just a kick. So it was funny though. I'll admit that. It was like all hype, and then all of a sudden it's just a kick. It was like, well, one day we're gonna see the best part, okay? But the idea that she could be not only a summoner, but she could fight, it's a good thing because she has the rope, and then she could do that the whole you need two Lucy, but then you need one Lucy because she could do it now, and then you got the whole form transformation based on the summons. So because of that, we're gonna see more of her, fighting. I can't say fist to fist like a fighter, like a MMA person, but you know what I mean. The point is, she could take care of herself as well, protect herself. So summons and protecting and able to fight is a good feature. So I'm proud of that, and it's pretty obvious the next chapter will be showcasing Natsu, because the guy from the last what was it? Can I say part one? Basically Stinger, Blue Nose Stinger. Yeah, he's back. But he's back for mainly to showcase the power of Natsu, because apparently Natsu doesn't feel gravity. He just walked there and just like, hey, there you are. I was looking for you guys. And it's funny because Wendy and everybody else is having a hard time to get out of that gravity, and then Natsu just come in there walking normal, picking up a person or two. So pretty much you get the idea that the next chapter is going to be a demonstration of Natsu power, even though we got that from the last chapter, well, not last chapter, but the early chapters of the after the time skip happened, with him, melting things, burning up things, stuff like that. Now we're just seeing more of that feature of his, able to withstand the power of the others. So yeah, there's more of those. Other than that, Not a bad chapter. Not a bad chapter. Not much to say. Just gonna see more demonstration of the characters. I guess I'm more happy with Lucy since is getting more powers, and she wasn't kidding about oh no, I'm still the same person. But she actually do develop herself for the power's sake. I don't know if the long run will make her showcase in a better light, but who knows? You never know. Natsu, it is a protagonist, so you expect some over the top style, which I don't have a problem with it at all. So not a bad chapter. I look forward to the next one. And then we have Bleach. So Bleach, there's a lot of crazy things that's going on. Mainly because it feels like it's gonna end very soon, or it's just hitting that big climax of the arc. So, I guess you gotta go all out, of course. So what you have is Aizen. Aizen is back, more or less. He's back, and pretty much he's still showcasing his broken ability because obviously he's too powerful to the point that just seal him. They ain't about to kill him. Maybe they can't kill him. I forgot what was the reason. But yeah, because he's just that strong. Even one seal breaks, and there's supposed to be two more left, and he just started to do a lot of craziness. To the point that he cut the guy's fingers. Because they were supposed to just to release him or at least make him sit down that chair. And instead they want to bind him. Suddenly he just breaks all the fingers off from that one guy. So not a good idea. So Shun Shui, he has the key in his chest. Pretty interesting to say because I was wondering how they try to hide this. With other characters, whatever they hide their spots or whatever they put their hiding spots of oh look, he has a seal or something like a mark. It usually does happen in Bleach at times, and I don't know if that's a long term plan or you could just say it's a on the fly moment because because that's how Kubo works. He does acknowledge that he does do these things on the fly. He doesn't really plan. Everything is it's just gonna happen right here, right now. It's just I decided to do this because I guess it works. Stuff like that. And yes, there's pretty good amount of retcons or I don't know. I don't remember that many plot holes. Maybe there were. There probably were some. Maybe not too much of it because it didn't bother me too much. I just know the story bothers me with the pacing and some of the what's going on because a lot of things that just keep coming out of nowhere, stuff like that. But I still enjoy reading them because it is ending and for its ending, well, path towards the ending is not so bad. This arc is actually good. I can't say it's great. Can't say it's very good. It has some pacing issues still, and some of the other ones, but the actions is good. There's a lot of neat moments. There's enjoyments. You see a lot of bunkais from characters you don't really see at all that much and stuff like that. People are dying left and right. This does feel like a war more or less, at least in their term. It's not too bad. I do enjoy reading these. So yeah, Aizen, he's gonna sit down, I believe, because even though it is a huge risk just to have him, doing the work, and thought to believe that he will save or fight for Soul Society, but I guess it's like a different case, a much different case, because obviously, I guess you could kind of say it's similar to how the Orochimaru went to become the ally for Shinobi, more or less, which a lot of people didn't like. For this case, it kind of works, sort of, but I hope that the story doesn't get too convoluted, because, we're really focusing on the Quincy, so focusing with the entire plot with Zach, I think that's his name. So, It's just a lot of thing going on, and then the news, and then we're gonna make a new Soul King, which I don't know if that's really gonna happen, but it's kind of weird that Soul King kind of hyped, and then he just dies. Like, what happened? Like, I mean, he didn't die completely, but now they're gonna get a new Soul King. It's like, what's going on? So it's kind of strange. I don't know. But you never know. Plot twist could happen. Maybe Kubo would do the plot twist from the back in the good old days, where he, how with the ice and plot twist thing. So maybe that could happen. You never know. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of there's a good amount of dialogues in the beginning with Aizen and Shun Shui, and then we get more actions with Ichigo, and pretty much more exchanging dialogues. Pretty much talking about like protection, and the guy saying like you can't really protect everything because you just kill that Soul King, technically speaking, by cutting him in half. Ouch. So yeah, and a lot of things goes on. Chapter's kind of fast after the icing aspect though, because even though they exchange a lot of interactions, it's a lot of big panels taking over, a lot of not a lot of action, but it's just pretty much of action. And the interaction is pretty much, oh, you I could protect everybody and this like that, and what it means to not to protect it doesn't mean I would turn back on this, blah blah blah. Not a bad chapter. It's actually good. It's decent. I guess it's trying to test our patience because we got Aizen, which a lot of people could be afraid that it will start making the story way too confusing, stuff like that. Who knows? But yeah, didn't not much of a strong cliffhanger, not much of a strong follow up, but it seemed like it is reaching to his ending, or the climax. I mean, so overall, it's not a bad chapter. It's okay. It's decent, and I just want to see how this. I actually can't figure out how this series is going to end. It's funny because maybe because Ichigo doesn't really have a real goal in life or stuff like that. It's like if you hear Naruto say, "I'm going to become a Hokage," your ending is like, "Oh, okay, you're going to become a Hokage. We got it." Stuff like that. I'm not saying a lot of characters should not have a goal, or they should have a goal, but all I'm saying is, it's in a weird way. If you don't have a goal in the beginning, then maybe, just maybe, the story is actually harder to figure out how your ending is going to be. Like, say, like with Tokyo Ghoul. He just woke up. He has to accept the life of being a ghoul. Why they get the main plot of the whole who killed her, and whatnot. It's not like he started off thinking that way. It's more like, crap, I'm a ghoul, and now what I'm gonna do? Oh, let the story follow. Let the story get to me. Stuff like that. Instead of like, I am this character, and I want to be the king of this, the number one of that, or whatever. So, for Bleach, I'm trying to figure out how this is gonna end. Like, what Ichigo gonna do? He's gonna be the replacement for the king, but it seems like they're already getting that replacement. He's gonna go back home, which kind of hinted that he's not going back home. It's actually interesting to say the least. So, but yeah, this chapter, not much to say. Just more dialogue exchanging. The interesting one was the Aizen one. The Ichigo and Yauch. There's not much going on. Just pretty much saying like, you cannot protect this. How could you tell me this? I can. Stuff like that. But not a bad chapter. So again, I have no anime to talk about. I'm still working on this. Again, this is a pilot episode, and to be in fact, I'm going to do a lot of more updating for the next one. I'm gonna do it like a different, not a complete different style, but like it will have some, I don't know, some more presentation to the ears, to because this one is my pilot. This one is gonna be my rough draft, my first thing. It's gonna be like, you know how you see a lot of series, a lot of shows or anything. They seem like it's such a first thing. It's such a old concept, such a first style or whatever. And I'm not talking about anime and manga, but they do have pilots. But I'm talking about like shows, like you like a bridge series. Even bridge series, the first episode is it seems like, oh man, I don't have that much technologies. I don't have a good microphone, or I don't have the right tools to make it awesome, stuff like that. But then you'll see as they progress, they become well presented, and they become something that a lot of people will be very interested. It's that presentation. So my first pilot episode is not the best. It's not. I don't know if it's the worst. If you call it worst, go ahead. But I'm gonna work on it. This is the first. Even my reviews, I'm gonna work on my reviews because I feel like I did this on the fly. I memorized a lot of things in Tokyo Ghoul, and I do remember stuff from the other series that I just reviewed, but I didn't go too much in depth, and I will do that for the next upcoming one, mainly because those I find that I wouldn't say I can't remember them. I do remember them. It's just just get a plot points in my head, and then it's like, oh yeah, I had to discuss this part and that and that stuff like that. So I'm working on all those things. Now, that being said, even if you want to hear my thoughts on the chapters or episodes, join me in Tumblr. I won't go too deep, but I will discuss them in a very short term, saying like, this chapter was pretty good because of this and that, and I hope for this next chapter will be that and that and that. I won't go too much detail. The more detail will be presented in here. So say like, this Tokyo Ghoul chapter was a good one, really good one, and stuff like that. And I think I'm too hyped for the next one, that I'm scared to be disappointed and stuff like that. And then stuff like that you'll read off the Tumblr. But in this kind of podcast style, you're gonna hear more in depth of why this chapter was good and why this episode was so good, why it's bad, why it's not so bad, whatever. The point is, if you want to read my thoughts early on, you can say the first impression, I guess. You join me in Tumblrs, and here you will hear my review for them. So this is the very first episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will do my best to keep updating. I will do my best to make a better presentation and stuff like that. This will go on for every Saturdays. Every Saturdays, unless say otherwise from me. But in time being, it's definitely on Saturdays. Every Saturdays, there's going to be a new episode of me reviewing the different mangas and telling you the news report on the anime manga universe, Anime, like I said, I'm going to find the anime to give you the review. Because by the time I try to reach the Parasite, it's going to be done. Because it's almost done. So, I was trying to, I wanted to do Parasite. I would probably do other animes. Even like, like anime for Fairy Tail or anime for Seven Deadly Sins. By the way, there's supposed to be what, 2 to 3 more, I believe. Like you're supposed to get a review for Seven Deadly Sins, actual reviews of Tokyo Ghoul, because I'm catching up. Don't worry, and My Hero Academy. I would take suggestions from what other mangas I should review as well. I wouldn't mind that. I'll take suggestions on anime, definitely for anime, because I need to catch up. So, you just leave it, just give me some comments about it and tell me what to do with it. And yeah, this is the first episode, ending off with, hopefully I didn't disappoint. Hopefully I did okay job at the very least. Give me a thumbs up or something. So, other than that, all right, I'm done because it's just a lot of materials. Well, not really. I think the intro took the most job. So yeah, it seems like it's not gonna go that far ahead. It's not gonna reach to 2 hours or stuff like that. Remember, the intro was the longest one. Like I said, This is the very first episode. I gotta give my introduction on why and how is this gonna work, and then I give you the review. The review will be more different the next time around. Yeah, I won't go too deep. I won't go like 90 minutes on one chapter, but I could go quite a while, not too long. I'll make it brief as much as I can. Okay, so yeah, that was it. And until then, see you next time. Take care, everyone.